Hello, welcome to the Physics Fun Zone. Today we are going to discuss the most interesting thing in the world, TV, satellite, and radio wave. To start off, waves and wave-like motion. These gnarly guys are everywhere, whether you are smart enough to notice or not, we encounter waves every day. The only three you need to know are TV, satellite, and radio waves. Everything else is worthless. Let me start with my sweet child of mine, radio waves. These were originally discovered by an honorable guy named James Clerk Maxwell. James noticed how these gnarly beasts had wave-like properties of light. With this, rad guy James creates questions that involve light and radio waves. There was also a badass named Heinrich Hertz, who generated radio waves in his laboratory. Many noobs followed Heinrich Hertz because of his badass demonstration of radio waves. Radio waves are a type of radiation with wavelengths along the electromagnetic spectrum. These chumps are longer than infrared light. They have a frequency of 3 kHz to 300 GHz, and their wavelengths range from 1 mm to an early 100 km. There are ways to create these bad boys naturally. All that one would need is lightning and astronomical object. Radio waves are used for radio broadcasting, radar location systems, radio communication, and several other amazing things. Artificial radio waves can be created, and there are laws that can be set to prevent interference with them. Woo! These laws are set by the BAMF Squad, or the International Telecommunications Union, or ITU. Ever heard of a radio station? Well, if you have not, then you are a noob lord. Radio stations like AM or FM radio need a radio antenna in order to receive a signal. A radio tuner is needed in order to get a specific radio station, because I said so. For you slow people, different radio stations move on different frequencies, and the resonator locks onto the frequency of the station that you want to listen to. Resonators usually come in the form of a circuit board with a capacitor or crystal oscillator, but modern radio stations now use a phase-locked loop. The capacitor or inductor is generally adjustable, in that you can change the frequency at which it amplifies. Here is some of my favorite jams. Amazingly, radio waves are not just used for boss music, they can also be used for medicinal purposes. There are medical purposes that are in the form of radio frequency energy. Radio frequency energy has been used in medical procedures for over 75 years. Oh my god, that is nearly forever. Although it is usually used in minor surgeries, it can also be used in the treatment of sleep apnea. The magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, uses radio waves to create images of the scanned human body. Wow. Enough with this dinosaur old grandpa BS. Let's move on to my freaking sweet brother, television wave. Televisions use satellite communication when entertaining you. The TV sends signals to the satellite, which receives these signals in waves, and either responds on the same frequency or a different frequency. Due to weak signals from the satellites, the ground units have to amplify the signals before sending them out to the television. Lol, what a weak noob. This is done so that you can watch your program. A TV transmitter is on an Earth station. This transmits signals in the form of electromagnetic waves. The electromagnetic waves then carry images and sounds to the satellite, and the transponder receives the message and sends it on a frequency in another direction. These signals are received by several other ground stations. The signals are weak when received. Lol weak noob. So ground stations buff them and send them to various local stations, where locals can view them on their TV. This is an early TV show with interdimensional waves.
In theaters now, coming this summer. Two brothers in a van, and then a meteor hit, and they ran as fast as they could from giant cat monsters, and then a giant tornado came, and that's when things got knocked into 12th gear. A Mexican armada shows up with weapons made from tomatoes And you better bet your bottom dollar that these two brothers know how to handle business. In Alien Invasion Tomato Monster Mexican Armada brothers, who are just regular brothers running in a van from an asteroid and all sorts of things, the movie. Hold on, there's more. Old women are coming, and they're also in the movie, and they're gonna come and cross-attack these two brothers. But let's get back to the brothers, because they have a strong bond. You don't want to know about it here, but I'll tell you one thing. The moon, it comes crashing into Earth, and what do you do then? It's two brothers, and they're gonna, it's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
The last form of waves that I'm willing to go through with you is satellite waves. Satellites in space communicate to Earth through a series of stations that send and receive radio waves. These cool cats act as middlemen, receiving and sending tons of information every second of every day, in all different directions. Wow, bamf much. They do this through the use of devices called transponders. Satellites also use different angles in order to send and receive transmissions. When they receive a transmission, they demodulate, amplify, and remodulate the transmission from a different carrier before it's retransmitted. If the transmission is for national distribution, then it is sent downward on a wide-angle antenna so that the whole area receives the transmission. If the transmission is for international distribution, then it is sent to other satellites with highly directed antennas. Then the demodulation, amplification, remodulation transmission process is repeated in the other satellites. Wow, that needs a shorter name, like Bruce. Lastly, those satellites send down the transmission to a target ground station, where it is processed in low noise receivers and re-radiated from TV transmit. That is all folks. GG. No re, too easy.